Hi, and you saw my welcome. This is Grandfather Cloudwalker. He's a doll that I made a few years ago. Let me see if I put a year on him. Nope, no year, but that's okay. This isn't, I will do my WIP update and everything, but I thought I would start with Grandfather Cloudwalker because this is a polymer clay sculpt that I did. He has glass eyes, real feathers, mohair for his hair. I strung the semi-precious beads for his necklaces. This is some ribbon braid that I cut down for his trim. Some leather strips that I braided for his front breastplate. He's got real rabbit fur for his trims. It's a microfiber fabric that I used to make his clothing with some leather trim for his fringe. His boots are sculpted polymer clay. This is a stick of driftwood from my yard. When you make a doll like this, you bend wire to make a skeleton, and you cover that with cloth. And then in this case I sewed a bodysuit, which you take his stick out of his hand. He's got a lot of, if you look at, he's got polymer clay sculpted shoes, but you can see his bodysuit here. And that's bodysuit that's actually drawn up over the skeleton that I made. And then I clothed him over that. And I beaded the trim on his tunic. And I tried to keep him somewhat authentic. When I sculpted his face, I sculpted it before I actually did much research into an Indian face. I kind of get, when I get on a roll, it kind of feels like I'm channeling things. And I saw this face, I knew I had to stop. And when I went online to just look at different Native American faces, I actually found a man in the Natchez Pierce tribe that looked almost exactly like this one. So I guess that one was meant to be. And Grandfather Cloudwalker I named because he's actually the medicine man of his tribe. He is a dream interpreter and one of the elders of the tribe. So I thought I would share Grandfather Cloudwalker with you because he's very dear to my heart. And when I was doing that doll, I really got into the Indian culture, and I bought myself a huge book on various Indian people because I would like to sculpt more Native Americans, and I mean they would make some really interesting subjects. And this is a very good book. And all that came about because I bought, one of my penny books with shipping was this Joan Elliott Native American cross-stitching book. Sorry for the glare. And that's what that looks like. And I think, I'm trying to remember who it was. I just, this is terrible. I write these things down and then I lose them. Somebody was just sewing Indian Maiden, and it might have been Katie. That's my dog pushing my footstool around from under my table. I can't get through a video without them making some noise. Anyway, yes, dog. She was doing an Indian Maiden, and I thought I would show you, and it's a Joan Elliott Indian Maiden, and I don't believe that Indian Maiden is in this book, but there are two charts that I really want to do. There are a couple of really beautiful frames too. I'll show you this one. This is called a Patchy Wedding, and it's a wedding sampler. And that is beautiful. I think on my craft channel I always say have a colorful day, because color really attracts me. So when I see things, pretty much what attracts me to them first is the artist's use of color. So here is this Indian, this is the Indian Maiden. Maybe the other one was an Indian princess. This is an Indian Maiden. And I just think that she is beautiful. So that's going to be one of my next starts. And then towards the back of this book, there's an Indian warrior. So I want to do them as companion pieces. And I'm not sure if they face the same way or if they're opposite. I'm hoping that they're opposite. I didn't look at that. If they're facing, I may actually put them on the same piece of fabric. Let's see, she's looking to my right, and he's looking to my left. So they may be a single piece, and I'll figure out a way to work their background so it's together. But this is Joan Elliott's Native American cross stitch, and it's absolutely got some amazing pieces in it. So, and what brings that up is, I'll tell you a little bit. This is family history I didn't know that I had either, and it's not that I'm American Indian. My mother's background is primarily German, and my father's background is primarily English, Dutch. But my mother's family, her mother, my grandmother, Bertha Dietz, her family was one of the three families that settled the Mohawk River around the Schoharie Valley. And I found a piece about the Dietz family massacre. And it turns out that the area that my grandmother's family settled back in the 1700s actually was raided by the Mohawk Indians working in conjunction with the British Army. And all but Captain Dietz, who was a member of the militia, they murdered the entire family and took him captive, where he was held at Fort Niagara. And he died there. But I thought that was all really interesting. And so it's amazing what you find. I guess that's what I mean. Is as we work through our art and our craft, we uncover things about our own history, which I think is amazing. It entrances me every day. I try to learn something new every day, and I've not been disappointed, let's say. So anyway, I guess that's my soapbox about my love of the Native American culture and my own history. Not as a Native American, but as, I guess, just colonial American. And by the way, I mean, there's been so much dissension in this country about skin color, and I hate to bring anything like that up because it's really so minute. But I mean, back in that day, the French were capturing Native American Indians and sending them to the West Indies as slaves. So slavery is a part of every culture. I think Americans get a really bad rap for it because we have kept it in the forefront of our politics for so long. But it is part of everyone's history. It's a sad, sad statement of the human condition. But I don't know. I probably shouldn't have brought that up, but oh well, it's out there and I'm not editing it out. As far as my whips go, primarily I worked on the Princess and the Unicorn, and let's see, oh, I might know, she's on the bottom of my pile over here. I think today my craft area is going to get some major sorting out because I've been dragging stuff out left and right and it's all around me. It looks like my room threw up. So it is time for me to fix that. Anyway, this was my new start last week. I did it a little bit as part of the Stitch Mania old, new, borrowed, and blue. Well, this was new. And I loved her. I thought that she was so beautiful. And I still do. Sorry about that. I'm back. My windshield washer thing isn't working on my car, so I now have an appointment to get that fixed. Let's see. So I was talking about The Princess and the Unicorn. And it's on my frame right behind me. You can kind of see it. That's a little bit of my setup, and I'm going to insert a picture of it here, which will show you my progress. And it's coming along really well. I'm enjoying working on it, and just to talk a little bit about the way my stand is set up, you can see that I have my little light clamped to the top of the scroll bar. And across the top of my frame that's gripping one of the bars, I have a magnet. And on that magnet is where I rest my needles, kind of like a needle minder. And then here are all of the threads that I'm currently using. And the threads that I've used the most recently, now these are just the screws. I have them poking up, you know, to the top of my frame, so the screw protrudes above the clamp area. And on that is where I put the hole that's in my bobbin. I've done this as long as I've had frames. And that's where I hold my working threads. So the stuff that I've taken a length off, I then keep it right here. And if I still have a thread that I'm using, like this thread over here is my glow-in-the-dark that I'm using in the main body of the unicorn. And I just have my needle with the remainder of that thread stuck right into some of the floss on that bobbin. This is a needle that I finished the thread on, and I find that it's much easier to keep track of what I'm doing when I just have it all right in front of me. And then this is the box that I have the rest of my DMC for that project in. And I don't know, maybe that'll help someone. And I was watching Danielle Stitcherista's weekly update this morning before I got out of bed. And hi, Danielle. I'm hoping that you're doing okay. I know it's going to be a long and trying battle, but I know that you're more than up to it, and you have all of our support, our prayers, good thoughts. And if you need anything, you know that you have a whole community here, more than willing to help you any way that we can, me included. Anyway, I was watching her video, and she was saying how she had watched someone's video and they had said they used colored pencil to mark their chart. And I've pretty much always used colored pencil. And I told, in my comment, I mentioned that I used the color erase. It's called COL-erase pencils. They're by Prismacolor. And you can get a 24-pack of them on Amazon for about $10.96 on Prime. So I highly recommend them, because you mark your chart and say you go over to an area that you really didn't get to yet, you can erase that mark. Or if you're a person who likes to mark an area before you get to it, you can also erase as you go. And it doesn't damage the print. I mean, I print a working copy, and it does not remove the ink on my working copy. So that's just a general Hint, that's how I do it, and it works for me. Let's see. I only worked on one other piece this week. Oh, grandfather is sitting on her, so let me move him over here. And it was my Queen of Hearts that I'm doing as a Christmas gift for my sister-in-law. Let's see if I can get that out. All right, and that's what she looks like. She's a Jim Shore Mill Hill kit, and so there are beads and everything with this kit. And I've probably made more than one mistake, but I think I'm going to be okay. And this is what she looks like right now. I had to take out one of her eyes because I miscounted. But with the back stitching, her face I haven't done the back stitching, and I haven't done any of the beads yet. But her face is almost done. I still have to put the eye back in and do the back stitching. And then there's a lot of beads and things in through her collar. There's some pearl beads and some red beads. I still have quite a ways to go. I've done a little bit more at the bottom, but not much. I'm really not sure that she's going to be ready by Christmas, but I am going to focus. I have to focus on this piece because I really do want to give this to my sister-in-law for Christmas. I haven't done any more work on my expendables, but he's also out as a focus because I want to give that one to my brother. Let's see. So that was all of my cross stitching for this week. I do have that plan to start my Indians, which may not be until after Christmas. That might be my 1st of January starts. Not sure. I do have some haul, which is going to be coming to an end. I mean, I had to go to the dentist yesterday, and I had broken a tooth that I broke, I think I was like 18 years old, and I was in Germany in a beer tent eating a steak sandwich, and I broke a tooth. And over the years, that tooth has been filled and filled and filled, and it's a pretty good sized break. Well, that filling came out again. And when I was working an hour away from where I live. So my dentist, of course, was near where I worked. So I decided I needed to find a new dentist. So I found a dentist locally. I went there. Long story short, after 3 visits, they still hadn't done anything with my tooth. And they'd been charging me a ton of money on top of my dental insurance that I'm paying for. So I finally just called my old dentist up. I decided it's to bite the bullet and just drive an hour to the dentist, which is good because now I have a temporary filling, and in I think July I go back for a cleaning, and they'll let me know if they're going to do a crown on my tooth. Perfect. That teaches me, don't stop a good thing. But anyway, by going there, it put me near A.C. Moore, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. I mean, all of those stores are like an hour away from me. And I didn't go to all of them. I went to Joann's and I went to Hobby Lobby. I went to Hobby Lobby mostly because my daughter's looking for Lilo and Stitch fabric. But neither Joann nor Hobby Lobby have Lilo and Stitch. And so I did buy some stuff. I am really enjoying working on my scroll rods. I mean, I had gone to Q-Snaps, which I had never heard of before Floss Tube, and I like Q-Snaps. But I have to say, for things like this Princess and the Unicorn, I like my scroll rods better. So I did pick up at Hobby Lobby another scroll rod. This one's a split one, and I don't particularly care for the splits, but I mean, these will work just fine on the stand that I have. So I've got that, so I could actually start another big piece. Although my Maid is calling to me, so is my phone. Anyway, I bought my scroll rods, and then I saw Katie, the Queen of Starts. No, Queen of Stash. Katie. Anyway, she was, not that one. Do you ever wonder? I have so many books and magazines that I will never get to most of this stuff. There's one here, a magazine. Oh, there it is. It was one of these that you could get for 99 cents from Hirschner's that they were selling. And she was showing this patisserie cross stitch. Well, I wanted to get fabric to start this. So that's what all this struggle looking for stuff is to say that I picked fabric up. I bought two of these even weaves, the 28 count MCG textiles. I got one in mushroom and one in antique white. And those I got from Joann's. And then from Hobby Lobby, I bought the even weave antique white, but this one's a 30 by 36, so it's just a bigger piece. I'm going to do the patisserie one, though, in the mushroom, I think. That's what that was for. And as everybody's saying, cross-stitching and needlework has just put out their last volume, and I did receive mine, and I am going to miss that magazine. I just found it again after many years. Used to have it when it was Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, and then it went to Cross Stitch and Needlework, and I hope they find their way into somebody keeping a cross stitch magazine going. The British ones are nice, but I don't know, it's nice to have something like Cross Stitch and Needlework in the US. No offense to anybody, it's just, you know, you show me all your beautiful things, and it usually takes me a month to be able to get it on my newsstands, so it's kind of nice to have immediate gratification. I do seem to be an instant gratification kind of person. But they do send you a very nice letter, and they send you a copy of the Hirschner's catalog, and on their letter they include a gift card, and it's for the balance, I think, of your subscription. So that's very nice, and I will go to Hirschner's and spend some more of my money, and with the gift card, because you know, you can't just do that little bit. So I think I showed that magazine before when I got it. I went to Barnes & Noble, and I bought a whole bunch of it. Well, not a whole bunch. Back it down. I bought 3 cross-stitch magazines, I think. And everybody's probably shown them, because I bought the Cross Stitcher magazine. Not the most current one that's on the newsstands in England now, but last month's. And I bought the Cross Stitch Collection, which has a really cute reindeer on it, and a giant fold-out chart, which I find very interesting. And I guess that every issue is going to have a giant fold-out chart. And I mean, it's one of those that, you know, you open up, and you open up again. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, my space is so cramped now that, and even making copies of this for working copies might be tricky. But there are some beautiful things in here. Let me see if I can find. There's an autumn fairy that's beautiful. And that's by Leslie Tier. Autumn fairy. Just beautiful. And I picked up this beautiful cross stitch And it's kind of like a book, but it's got the cupcakes. I must have a thing with bakery stuff and patisserie because it seems to be attracting me. And then from Amazon, I picked up a Susan Bates cross-stitch sampler book that is gorgeous. And the back shows some of the motifs that are kind of done up into samplers inside, where you could take individual motifs, or you could, you know, stitch the sampler the way it's shown. Some beautiful things in there. But I think what attracted me to this one was the sewing one that's right on the front cover. It has a dress form and all kinds of really pretty things. A sewing machine. Really nice. And then I also picked up, I think I picked this up at Joann's yesterday though, not at Barnes & Noble, because I think Barnes & Noble didn't have any copies of this left. This is my Art Doll Quarterly. This is put out by Stampington, I think. Although I'm not sure. But it's that style of a magazine. And I still love art dolls. I still want to continue making them. I love this one. It looks like Patty Kalea's face, but I know it might not, it's probably not her doll. She's got a few books out on making dolls, so it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But what I love about this. This could be me, queen of the last minute. The queens of everything else, queen of the last minute. I think that's all I want to show you. I mean, there's probably lots more I could show you. That's all. Oh wait, there is another thing. I've been working, these are the same 5 gnome counting pins that I did before, but these are finally finished. And so I've done all the extra paint work on them, and I've glazed them. And I think I am going to put them up in an Etsy store, simply because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to worry about how to, payment options and all that stuff. But here's this little guy. And these you can even wear these when I send them. I'll send them with like a rubber tip on the bottom as a stopper. So I mean, you can even wear these as lapel pins or scarf pins or bag pins, but primarily I'm calling them counting pins. And here's another one. I'm putting them in a little stand that I have over here. And here's this little one. And then the last one, but not least, is this little guy. So I'm having fun with those. I intend to make a few more of them. I hope that everyone's having a very crafty, stitchy type week. I know that I have so many things I want to do that I will never be bored or out of things I need to do. I think before I do much else, though, I have to clean some of my mess up and put some stuff away that I've dragged out. Sometimes I think I have too many toys, but life is too short to worry about it. I'm going to enjoy all the things, and I hope that you do too. A lot more younger stitchers and crafters out there lately too, so kudos to the mothers and fathers who are getting their children involved in crafting young. It's really a wonderful thing to see. And so, until next time, have a lovely day.